do believe that kids nowadays are with the opportunity to do whatever they want. And maybe they do want more people to see them, because as a kid, you're still exploring who you are, and if you realize you really want to dance and you want people to see you dance, to find your skill and to invest to that skill, so in the future you can have more resources learning all that. You can easily show it to the whole wide world, not like in the past you can only dance and hope that you have the talent, and you don't have mean to know if you're good, to know if you really do have a future. So from that sense, I feel like it's a good thing that it's the option there. But from another angle, I also think that kids are like born people pleaser at the very first place, because they started to know the world by the critics and also praise from their parents. And now not only do they have to deal with that the common scene that a Chinese parent say to their kid, okay, kiddo, sing a song to the family in the family reunion. Perform. It's a thing, and I had lived that thing. I didn't really like it. Nevertheless, you don't only deal with that from your parents, from your family relatives. Now you have to deal with that from the internet, from strangers giving you bullet comment or just reveals under a little dance performance you've just uploaded on the internet. It's strange.
I think it's disturbing, this global trend of just the urge to go viral. I just find it extremely unhealthy. I don't even know how it really originated. I mean, my earliest example, at least in the United States, well, he's from Canada, but Justin Bieber became famous via YouTube, I believe is the platform he used. And, you know, you're talking about a kid who played an acoustic guitar, and either his mom or dad put it out there, and now he's one of the biggest stars who's ever sold records. And I don't know. I know of this kid Ryan. I remember reading about this a few months ago and thought what he's doing has a semi-educational, semi-business expertise bent to it, because you've got a young kid sort of instructing and where other kids might relate to that. And I think there's a healthy component to that. But even with Ryan, even in the case of Ryan, we are going, why are the parents steering children to become viral sensations? I mean, to me, it's a sickness. It says something about the, you know, whether it's two dads, two moms, a mom and a dad, whatever the parental structure, why is it being diverted away from maybe organized team sports with other kids in the neighborhood, getting together with other children? Why the instant gratification or the seizing of this? Gotta have it now. I can't imagine if I went viral as a 5-year-old. I wouldn't want any of those videotapes out there.
Well, do you think that this was more, or possibly just the parents? And also, you're looking at sometimes the second generation of Instagrammers that the parents could, I don't exactly have the names right here with me, but they're these famous Instagram popular parents, and then when they have kids, immediately their thought is to also put their kids out there too, and the kids get a lot of attention because you know who doesn't like cute kids, right?
Yeah, and also actually 1 in 5 wish to start their own YouTube channel in a survey of 1,000 children in the UK, and more than 75% of the youngsters say they'd consider a career in online videos. So I think maybe these are the kids with some ideas putting in their head by their parents, but still they are now voluntarily saying that they want to be in the business.
But with all these surveys, you kind of need to take it with a grain of salt as well, and also talking about what you like and actually doing it. Also, there could be a big distance in between. Haven't we all wanted to like earn our, I don't know, had those big dreams, but not necessarily fulfilling the hard work to make it happen. But it is interesting to see that. Absolutely, I agree with you, Neil Holden, that today these are often kids raised by YouTube, or, you know, like parents would, this is not so big in China yet, but see like parents put their kids in front of like the playing YouTube videos, and sometimes it's cartoons or whatnot, and that's what can keep them quiet and keeps them busy. And so we're talking about a whole generation of kids that grow up immersed in social media, so comfortable with these platforms. And when you see one of your peers doing this, then why not you do something similar? And there is all that profit aspect of it that's coming in too. And well, I don't know, are we being a little too harsh in judging the parents or what? Well, actually, there are a lot of parents that are rolling out their kids who are fresh to social media in the sense that as content providers are actively doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so should we judge the parents a little bit?
No, I don't think we're judging them harshly enough.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, let me just say my piece on this. Look, I think, okay, the four of us in this room and most people listening right now, we all experienced life in reality before, way before video offerings became available. Instant streaming of whatever I'm doing became available. So for a 5 or a 7-year-old, let's just say, let's take the child from the UK. He was 7 years old. What does he know from reality now? I mean, to him, reality is a camera and his parents sort of cheering him on and an audience. You can't really work back from that. There's going to be some psychological ramifications with the development of his psyche, the expectation that he'll set for himself. I mean, at some point he will hit he'll go as high as the trajectory will take him, but then what? You know, there may be, it's going to end.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's very alarming that previously kids want to be, let's say, doctors or nurses, helping people, or teachers, passing knowledge of human being. And those are the kind of occupation that need you to actually educate yourself.
Yeah.
You need to prepare for, let's say, 10 years or 15 years to get into the industry. You need to have the knowledge, and also you get to spend enough time outside that to take a look at the real world, like Patrick has said. But for internet celebrity, for the kids making money, you rely on your instinct. You rely on who you are, and that is not something. It's definitely not something I want my future kid to rely on. You need to be someone who's more, let's say, substantial, or let's say have more in you. You need to allow your soul to grow. You need to allow your brain to absorb information, to discover really who you are, not the raw, cute, and make people put a smile on people's face, kind of cute, but really naive and innocent kind of you, to be exposed to the whole wide world, and that is it. There's nothing more to explore.
But that's it, the exposure to the whole wide world. How scary is that? Would you open your door and let 3 million people into your house that you've never met to watch your daughter perform or host a little show about, whatever it is? I mean, we talk all the time. Everyone complains, Facebook, everyone's in my privacy. What about this? I mean, your children, you're trying to make them superstars, and you're steering them down a very hedonistic course, and that sort of behavior. It's like, look, kids can be talented, but you remember it used to be you'd put somebody in the little beauty pageant or in the parade, and that was sort of the showing off of a child who was 5 or 7 years old. Now it's, oh man, I just don't know. I mean, you put up a camera and you broadcast them to the world, and I don't know what the value is. I don't know what the child is learning. They haven't lived yet.
But what if that they are making a lot of money through experience? Let's say little Ryan here has already made a lot of money.
No, his parents have made that money.
And then he will be able to do whatever he wants in the future. He does not ever have to worry about put food on the table. He can travel. He can learn whatever useless, not really useless, but the kind of major that makes really little money. He does not have to worry about that ever.
Well, I hope you're right, because I tend to be skeptical on this. I think these things get mismanaged and abused, and not by the parents necessarily, but by anybody who's got a little stake in this kid. Remember Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
I mean, he comes to mind too. It's like, man, his own father was just spending all the money. It's these kinds of things where the parents are sort of now entering the realm of, oh, well, my son is doing this, so what could this mean? It's not that they're necessarily selfish people, but this culture, this insatiable appetite for just going big, having a big viral hit, I think it turns people inside out a little bit.
Yeah, and also I'd just like to point out one more thing, and because we only see the success stories and see the many accounts out there that's got maybe 5 viewings and it all comes from relatives. So there's lots of unsuccessful stories that are never told, and so there is definitely the survivorship bias here when I'm always quite skeptical about making such easy money in the internet age. So, I mean, who doesn't like the idea? I think it's particularly appealing to the young people today. These could be the parents. That is, well, when you can just set up a camera or just go on the internet on your account and do some typing and you can make a living. That is so appealing. Because who likes to go to work? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's how little can I do for the most money? I guess that whole thing just rubs me wrong. And now you're bringing these children into that sort of worldview. Psychology Today, there was the article that we were referring to earlier. It will stunt emotional growth because, again, they haven't. Their world is what? The kitchen table and a video camera and school, and that's kind of it. It's distorted. It's not real.
I think it's safe to say all of us sitting in the studio now, we're very skeptical and we see a lot of disadvantages of this. But I think about it, I don't really see a way out. I don't really see how should we or how can we prevent this from happening. Because in the future, let's say if a kid is born now and from now on, all the kids born from now on, they will have 5G data speed, they will have 4K definition, they will live in a world that if they want to, as long as they want, or let's say their parents want to, they can live stream their whole life to whomever's watching, and there's just no stop to that, and it will be the reality for each and every kid in the world in the future, and who's getting famous is going to be either random or depending on who's talented enough in a very early age, and I don't really see a stop for that. Or are we worried too much about it?
Yeah, maybe so.
Just look at the, rewind, if we can, a few decades back when there was all this discussion about the generation that's raised by TV in the U.S. And, now the parents of these kids or a lot of the millennial generation, belongs to that generation. It seems like, we've got our problems, but it's not like, everybody's jumping off a cliff kind of thing. And people still persist and seem quite resilient and move on with life. So maybe this is just going to be one of the things that this generation will have to grow up and feel the pain as well as the glory that comes with it.
I guess and I don't want to sound like